This is Judge Joe Brown.
Now back to the Breakfast Club. They wanted to badmouth me on there. They want to talk about they love Mathis and Maybelline, and I must have hit my head on something. Will you tell that punk ass they take their Pop-Tart behinds out of that white supremacist toaster that's heating up their little sissy behinds, and I'll take them on one-on-one, or I'll take on all of them at one time.
This is The Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
So listen up.
All right, Judge Joe Brown has some issues. He was talking to Umar Johnson, and they were on Valerie Denise Jones's show, and they were talking about Harriet Tubman and putting her on the $20 bill. Judge Joe Brown apparently has a problem with feminists.
I don't give a goddamn about feminists. They can go straight to hell, and I know they hate themselves because they got two X chromosomes instead of an XY. They are fraudulent, self-hating, and they're sick. These feminists are trying to do this movie so they can get a black woman put on a $20 bill. They can't get a white woman, so they want a black woman. They don't care. They just want a woman, and it downs masculinity. We've got Ben Franklin, so we can have Frederick Douglass.
Sounds like he bumped his head or something. I don't know what he's talking about, but he was talking about the Harriet Tubman movie. And then in addition to that, he talks some more about feminists and this $20 bill.
Okay, but you don't have a problem with a black woman, and in this case, Harriet Tubman, being memorialized.
I got a big problem if it's on a bill before they put a black man's face on one. I have a big problem with that.
Why do you have a problem
historically,
with a black
the status
woman?
of an ethnic group is determined by its men, not its women. And that you put a black woman on there before a black man is insulting to the black race because you're saying the men ain't worth a damn. Put a woman up there first.
Yeah, Harriet Tubman.
What is he talking about?
Harriet Tubman might have shot Joe Brown. All right, you know what I'm saying? I'm
definitely.
Look, this is why I prefer Judge Mathis. Okay.
They say you shouldn't argue with people that Harriet Tubman probably would have shot. Harriet Tubman might have shot Joe Brown. Harriet Tubman might have shot Joe Brown. All right, you know what I'm saying? I'm
definitely.
Look, this is why I prefer Judge Mathis.
Oh boy. So, for over 3 years, there have been rumblings about Harriet Tubman being on the $20 bill. However, celebrity judge Joe Brown still has an issue with it. He recently told Dr. Umar Johnson, of all people, that he believes the freedom fighters should not be on the $20 bill because it's an insult to black men and downs masculinity. He also complained about the Harriet movie, saying, "This movie is to soften the public up to the idea of taking a black woman who freed slaves by leading them to freedom and getting her or another one like her on a $20 bill." Brown said they can't get a white woman, so they want a black woman. They don't care. They just want a woman. And it downs masculinity. Ouch. Go to newsone.com for more on this one.
Radio, DJ, one nation, one station.
All right, guys. Hello to those of you down in the comment section. This is Valerie Denise Jones. I hope you're having a great day. Oh my goodness, Philo the Great. My gosh. I'm not exactly sure what the impetus is regarding today's hot topics, because I truly thought I would just be spending my day editing things as it relates to Colin Kaepernick's draconian waiver, but such is not the case. And so this is a very bittersweet pill for me to swallow, because I'm a huge fan of Charlamagne the God and Angela Yee. But nonetheless, here we are. Judge Brown, I hear you've got a message you'd like to send to the hosts of the Breakfast Club.
They're punk-ass sycophants, and they're running around trying to deal with their slimy sleeves, and they do not understand what's going on. I made the comment that I thought it would be an insult to the black race if they put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill before they had a black man on there. To give you an analogy for those who don't get it, let's supposing that Congress passed an act commemorating the athletes of America. And everybody they put down on whatever posters, or even if they, let's say, decided to put athletes on dollar bills instead of dead presidents, Let's supposing that every depiction was some white guy. Well, let's say people started protesting and saying, well, wait a minute, there have been contributions to athletics by many black folk. You've got Jesse Owens, you've got Jack Johnson, Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, Jackie Robinson, you've got all of the black basketball playing greats, the GOATs in NFL and Major League Baseball, Hank Aaron and all of this stuff. And the response was to propose that instead of putting one of these greats on one of the dollar bills or on the poster, you decide to pick a WNBA, that's Women's National Basketball Association player, to represent blacks for the first time on these new bills that have athletes on them instead of dead presidents. Now, that's what we're talking about. It's insulting, and you pass over a whole lot of people like Frederick Douglass, who spread the word around the world to isolate Southern slavery, to turn people off who might have otherwise helped the South out during the Civil War, to set up the Civil War by supporting and enabling abolition, who recruited and helped form the 54th Volunteer Massachusetts Infantry, of which his son served and died serving, who did so much for black folk. You've got Dane Mark Vesey, the carpenter from North Carolina, who led the slave revolt. You've got Nat Turner. You've got Crispus Attucks, who was the first person to be killed in the American Revolution. You've got Thurgood Marshall. You've got I know they won't put Malcolm X on there, but you've got Martin Luther King. You've got all of these black men that have done so much. Harriet Tubman is supposed to have escorted between 250 to maybe 700 blacks to freedom. But there were black men that did this too. And there was an explanation way back when about why they gave note to Harriet Tubman. It's the same reason that, for example, and I'm not downing her, she was courageous, Rosa Parks gets the credit for not getting up and moving to the back of the bus. But the great athlete Jackie Robinson refused to move to the back of the bus. They called the police and the MPs. The difference is he had a loaded 1911 45 auto on his hip, and he had it with the hammercock safety off. And the testimony at the trial for the court-martial was that he said somebody's going to die tonight besides me. But see, that was 17 years before Rosa Parks, and nobody gives him credit. You see, you overlook the black man. I did intensive studies for a D.C. think tank back in the early 70s in D.C., and one of my assignments was to read the slave pamphlets. And the slave pamphlets were clear over the 150 years that they were in publication. And they were clear. Always give recognition to black women and totally diss black men. And that's exactly what it is. I take away nothing from this woman, but the bottom line is I think the only woman that's been on any kind of American money is Susan B. Anthony on a short-lived coin. So get some black men in there to match these people that the whites have, and all of them aren't dead presidents because you got Ben Franklin. But frankly, my studies of history, political science, culture, everything else is clear. The status of a race or ethnic group is determined by its men. And being frank and crude about it, the women of the out ethnic or minority group are just looked at as exotic sex objects by the oppressors or the conquerors or the colonialists. It is the status of the men that determines the status of the women and the children they have with each other, their religion that they practice, and the culture. And if the men are disrespected or down for their culture, then everything goes to hell. And that was one of the techniques of slavery, is to make sure that black manhood was suppressed while black womanhood was recognized. Now, a lot of wise women understand it. Now, back to the Breakfast Club, they wanted to badmouth me on there. They want to talk about they love Mathis and Maybelline, and I must have hit my head on something. Will you tell that punk ass They take their Pop-Tart behinds out of that white supremacist toaster that's heating up their little sissy behinds, and I'll take them on one-on-one, or I'll take on all of them at one time. So why don't we invite them on our show and see how well they stand up when they don't have something being scripted for them. See, I recognize a scripted performance from something where somebody's actually got the live bit. So let's take them on, sissies. And they supported that, what is it, Milk Yogurt we had on that dissed us because his punk behind couldn't explain how in the hell he's going to rationalize saying he's straight when he just likes males with penises. But if they say they're girls, that makes it all right. A penis is a penis. You want to go screw somebody that's got a dick and you got one, that makes you something else. That's your business to be that way, but don't try to diss those who, look down on that. Is Skittles dealing with tasting the rainbow, which is their right, but the rest of us, we don't swing that way. And keep your filthy pedophile hands off of our children. So let's take them on, sissies. And they supported that, what is it, Milk Yogurt we had on that dissed us because his punk behind couldn't explain how in the hell he's going to rationalize saying he's straight when he just likes males with penises. But if they say they're girls, that makes it all right. A penis is a penis. You want to go screw somebody that's got a dick and you got one, that makes you something else. That's your business to be that way, but don't try to diss those who, look down on that. Is Skittles dealing with tasting the rainbow, which is their right, but the rest of us, we don't swing that way. And keep your filthy pedophile hands off of our children. Yeah.
All right. So, Judge, if I may, I need to interject because I just got a message via my DM, and people are asking that you address the feminists that addressed you. Also, Gossip on This. I think TV One was another. Essence Magazine, Madame Noir. There's like a slew of them. So what would you like to say to them?
Go to hell. You screwed us up for the last 50 years. You came up with Take Your Daughter to Work Week. Nobody said anything about Take Your Son to Work. You got this thing about nobody wins a blue ribbon. Everybody gets a participation ribbon. You got this thing about get in touch with your feelings rather than being logical, rational, and reasonable. You produced all of these overly emotional, out-of-control boys who shoot up schoolyards and hoods, shoot up the hallway and the hood because of the lack of masculinity. You have screwed this country up. You've caused it to lose its purpose and focus, and you have neglected your responsibility as mothers, which is one of your most important functions. Men are expendable in the effort to protect the family, the children, and the women. It's women and children in the lifeboat first, and these idiots are going around advocating that should not be. Well, I guess what they want their place is taken by these trans who want to go around imitating being women, but I'll be damned if they get in any damn lifeboat I'm standing next to before the women and children. And I've actually yanked two of them off of a transport bus one time because they wanted to take the place instead of letting a nice elderly woman get the seat that they were trying to angle on. Yeah, I don't roll like that.
We're always interested in what you have to say about our live broadcasts. Please share your comments on our Facebook page or websites.